Welcome to the Awakening Spiritual Gifts broadcast. Today is Wednesday. I apologize. I had a couple tech issues that made me a couple minutes late today. So sorry about that, everyone. Actually, it was more than just tech issues. Can I tell you guys another thing that's going on? I was having computer laptop, but I'm having ants show up in my house. I don't understand. And they're drawn to my computers. Does anybody know anything about that? I've looked up some of the symbolism for ants. I'm like, maybe there's a message for me, which the messages of the ants are super awesome. But I'll tell you what, I don't like when I'm pulling open my laptop and I see a couple ants running in my keyboard, or one was hiding in my little port for my little jack. Does anybody know anything about ants? I'm really curious. Really curious because it's a pain. It's a little distracting as I'm setting up my stuff on my laptop to have little ants everywhere. So that's gross. It's gross. We're looking up all the ant stuff on how to get rid of them. They're tricky little guys. There's no food in this room either. Like, why are they in here? They just want my computer. So weird. So how's everyone doing today? We're halfway through the week. It's Wednesday. My kids have been out of school for a little bit, and it always creates some fun little dynamics with kid stuff and then run to work, and then kid stuff and drive them places. I do love summer though. I like taking a break from the grind. Okay, well, let's take a look at the energy of, I'm just going to actually even just start calling this, like, let's look at the energy of the week, especially where on this, and on this page and on the YouTube and everything. I'm just doing this live once a week. So let's take a look at what's been going on, what's been going on, and what will be kind of continuing. Let's look at the energy and the patterns and the strands. And as always, you are welcome to ask any questions, what you're working through, what you're working on, your gifts, your purpose, how things work. I'm happy to share and help wherever I can. So feel free to ask any questions in the comments, and I'll get to those in a moment. But yeah, let's look at some of the energy. Actually, let me fill you in on a little bit of some of the energies I've been seeing lately, and then even I did look yesterday, so just kind of a refresher on that. Last week we had, it was, well, like earlier in the week, we knew that there were some more intense energies coming up. Like if you watched last Wednesday, I definitely talked about that. And then following, kind of leaning into the weekend, there was a little bit of a, like, hey, self-care, you got to kind of hold. The intensity was still there, but it was just a lift and ease up just for a moment, just to like take a breath and get your bearings and get a little more grounded for this next wave and the next push. Yesterday, when I looked at the energy, it was some more of that intensity was coming in. It's like here, it's starting to push. You may have been tired and fatigued over the weekend. I know a lot of people were. I know I was. Sunday and Monday just felt like just got really a huge wave of fatigue and tired, kind of foggy. So if you felt any of that, you are not alone. In fact, I'd love to hear like what you recognize or what you felt. Checking the human resonance, which is the energy of the planet, definitely saw some big increases of frequencies, some high frequencies that came into the planet a few days, and kind of gave some bursts. Actually, a couple times, even just like within a day, there were just some high level bursts. So that could be affecting us. So today, looking at this energy, it's definitely continuing from some of what I saw yesterday. The vibration of it, like the pattern of it, almost looks like a there's a rhythm to the intensity, almost as if it's like a drum beat, like it's like boom, boom, like a pulse and a drum beat of this energy that's kind of pushing forward, creating some heat and pressure and forward momentum. So if it feels like, oh, I just got to move, but yet I don't want to, that's kind of the combination of like heat and pressure. Like, it's refining, it's purifying. It's not fun sometimes to feel that heat, but yet you're feeling some of that, but I've got to move. And it's like, no, I don't want to. I want to go back to bed, but I got to. So this heat and pressure, this drumbeat or kind of a pulse kind of gets you going and kind of keeps you going, but still allows you to lift off and kind of take things rhythmically, or a little bit, take your foot off the gas just a little bit, just so you can kind of have a little bit reprieve, but it keeps you going forward. There's definitely something, another little ant. I'm telling you, I don't know why why do ants like electronics? I would love to know this question. Anyone? Or is it just a sign from the universe that I really got to pay attention to ants? But I don't know what this is. I've never had this in this house before. I mean, I have seen ants, but not in here in ants. Seen ants. This is crazy. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, but there is definitely a vibe in the air of like, let's get stuff moving. Like, let's get some things going. There's going to be, oh my goodness, yeah, there's going to be continued, not momentum, propulsion is the word, and revelation. There's, oh, this is awesome. A lot of revelation energy. So, oh, I love that. Like, do what you can to receive what revelation is out there, because there's huge revelatory information and energy out there right now. It's like things are being revealed, things are going to be opening up. I love that verse in the Bible. I think it's in Acts. Oh, why did my brain just forgot which verse it was, but it talks about how the Spirit will be poured upon the earth in the last days, and it's like the young men will dream dreams, and the women will prophesy. I don't know, but it's just talking, your handmaidens will prophesy. But it's just like there's all this, all these gifts opening up, and the Spirit being poured on the earth. And it's totally that with revelation. So for sure, lean into that. I'd be really curious. Are you guys having some enhanced gifts and abilities in receiving information lately? What's been coming in for you? I can totally see. Also, too, I just feel like maybe this is very specific to people watching, but I do see this pattern often. And it is, it's this pattern of, and I don't want to put more energy into this at all, but it definitely feels like there's some big challenges that are coming up for people, some things to face, things that you thought were resolved or not resolved, or they come back. There's some struggling, and it's almost making, oh my goodness, this is like, okay, this is cool. I'm seeing that this is kind of a downfall, or the shadow side of the positive thinking, and like the positive, like light kind of movement. Like all of that is super awesome and great, but sometimes, and like the whole law of attraction kind of movement with this, but it's like there's this shadow side where if something negative shows up in your life, then sometimes this positive thinking movement and law of attraction is like, well, what did you do wrong to bring this into your life? But like, why did you create that? Or why did you create this negative experience? And so what it's creating in a lot of people is it's creating this like mental thing of like, oh, what am I not doing good enough? Or why did I do this? Or why did I bring this upon myself? And then it makes you feel like you didn't do something right. Just that whole not good enough type of message. I'm really curious if you guys are picking up on this. Are you guys experiencing some of this? But it feels like there's some of that shadow aspect going on. And it seems to be void, and kind of forgetting the fact that sometimes the struggle, and sometimes when things show up, it could be because you're actually doing things right, or it could be that you're ready to level up. Remember that struggle and the things that we're facing also bring the gifts. They may bring the very answers to the prayers that we've been asking. It's providing us these opportunities to learn and to grow and to strengthen and to, like the butterfly, you got to build the muscles in your wings in order to fly. If it were easy all the time, you would come out of your cocoon, come out of your transformation and die. Like you couldn't fly. So we've got to have this struggle and this refinement and purification and things that are hard to navigate, that you're like, oh, this is hard. I got to work through it, because that's where the gifts lie. So, oh, I love this. Yes, thanks for sharing this. Yep, I've been feeling that misinterpretation of the struggle. And this is like one of those things that's easy to say. Look at all the good of the struggle. Oh, yep, good. We got them coming in. Thanks for sharing. Yep. Me. It's so easy to say, but it can be something tricky to work through, right? We can say, "Hey, be grateful for all things." Like there's good in the hardship, but sometimes when you're getting punched in the face repeatedly and you're getting like squeezed, heat and pressure, which the energy has been bringing, heat and pressure, squeeze, intensity, like it can feel like I just want to break, and why is it not working? And it's like sometimes it just is not as easy to just be grateful for that and think that you're not doing something wrong to receive it, right? So it's really just like a total reframe of like, yes, this is good. And can you do that? This is tricky. This heat and pressure and struggle, like, yes, this is good. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I'm struggling right now. Can we say that? That's tricky to say, but that's really, it's like, yes, this is what I've been looking for. The very answer is to struggle and to feel the intensity and to feel the pain and to cry and to like that. There was a kind of a shift in my whole world. And it's not always easy, but I remember some very difficult, intense things and crying and like sobbing and being like, this hurts so bad. I don't know why this is here, but thank you. And I remember just praying and expressing gratitude. Thank you for the things that are going to come from this. I don't know what they are yet, and it hurts so bad, but thank you for it. Like that was a shift in my prayers. And it's not easy. It's not always easy to do that. So just want to give you some validation there. Oh, send in love. What you're saying. Yes. I'm so happy to hear that, Stephanie. Yeah, there's some hard things that are going on. It's heat and pressure and leveling up to like the oomph degree right now. And you've got your own personal, but then there's a collective energy on top of it, which just is amplifying it and magnifying these experiences. Oh, I'm so glad. Yes, it does. And it can feel like punishment, especially if you're in this world, which if you're watching this, you probably are in the world of self-help, positive thinking, good gifts. Like we just think of it as all light and good. And so it can feel like punishment, or you're not doing something enough, or you haven't figured it out. But what if the struggle is figuring it out? Like, what if that is the very thing? What if that is the gift? That's a better way to say it. What if that is the gift? And it's like, oh, you are so loved that you get to experience this struggle. You are so skilled and talented and good that you get to struggle. Hooray! Like it's a present. It's kind of a shift in thinking there, and this is probably for I've definitely experienced this, but yes, it's like good reminders for all of us, right? Like I'm looking at things going, yes, this is the gift. This is the gift, and growth is good. Okay, so let's dive in. Let's do some of these readings for you today. I'm excited. We'll do Vicky and then Stephanie. I'm really excited. You made it here live, and it's your first one, so I'm excited for that. Let's do. This is kind of weird. I'm actually going to do Stephanie first. And Vicky, I love you. I'm just going to go. I'll go to you next. I just don't know why. It's like Stephanie's energy is just really right here first. So I'm just going to go with that one. Since it's already in my view so strongly. And then Vicky, I'll go to you, my dear. Okay, Steph. So let's do. Okay, so let's just do. We're just gonna do a general reading and see what comes up and what messages there are for you. I'm gonna see if I can adjust my camera and see if you can see me while leaving the words up. Okay. All right. I'm seeing Vicky's energy come up too. Oh, I love you both. Okay. All right, Stephanie, okay, let me just go to yours really fast. And if anyone is watching for the first time, agency is really important to me. I don't look at a person's energy, even though I can feel it or kind of sense it. I don't dive into it unless I get your permission. By you asking is a way of permission, and then that's the way. And if there's that's the way I can see it. But if there is something that comes extremely personal, I'll kind of send, or I'll kind of set a little bit of a buffer in what I share publicly and try to translate it so you get it without having to disclose too much personal information. Okay, so Stephanie, okay, so it's interesting. So when I just said that, so Stephanie, I am kind of picking up some of that, like some of the things you're going through a lot of things right now, but that you perhaps are even kind of a private person. So it's like it's coming up, and then it's trying to like scrum almost and be like, ooh, but don't share, don't be too public about it. Like this totally. I mean, a lot of us have this at times, and especially if there's certain topics or certain struggles. So I just really want to just emphasize that I will totally be respectful on that. But it does. It feels like it even feels like there's some personality elements to you that you've actually overcome a lot already, and that you've figured things out. I don't know. Do you help people with things? Do you have a business? Sometimes when you figure things out and you've done really well and it feels like, okay, I've overcome some, and then you're sharing and helping others, sometimes it could feel like, oh, if I just share all of my stuff, then I'm a fraud. But we all got stuff. I can tell you, I have friends in all walks of life, all income levels, all stages of business and success. And I got to tell you, like, this whole struggle thing is just there for everyone, no matter where you're at. The difference is just how you handle it and the tools that you use and how you kind of view it and level up and use it to level up. So I kind of feel like that for you, Stephanie, is it's just like, yeah, you've figured a lot of things out. You've overcome a lot already. And now it may be like questioning, like, why am I experiencing this? Or why is this affecting me so much? Or why is this hard? And it's just a new level, new opportunity. I also can see that there are feels very heartfelt, even maybe some close relationship things going on. And it is very heartfelt. There's a lot being held in your heart. It's like the emotions, or it's like try to put a strong face on. I'm going to just try to like muster through it. Like, I can get through this, positive, think your way out of it. But what's going on is that the emotions are building quite a bit in the heart. So, perhaps there could be a safe space or a safe person or timing where you actually dive into the emotions of the heart and let them just come out completely unfiltered, and just let them be what they're going to be and cry. And I see it too, like coming out of the throat, like it's just as this heart pain coming out of the throat. So whether that's venting, talking, crying, just emoting, you got to like emote and just to get it out, almost like you're spilling it. Ooh, do you write? Do you journal? It feels like spilling it all over paper would be helpful too. So you can just look at it not judging it, but just pouring it all out so you can look at it objectively and just see things more clearly. When you're holding things in, it's going to feel bigger and it's going to feel more chaotic and confusing. So I definitely recommend getting it out to see straight. And then the other thing I would recommend is a couple deep breaths. It feels like your chest is kind of stuck in a little bit of that stress mode, a little bit of fight or flight or freeze. So it's like, I don't know what to do. So take a minute and just really breathe through the heart. And to inhale and then to exhale and to just like release and to let out some of those emotions and the tension in your heart and your chest. Help yourself to restore safety and to feel that peace, because that's the rest and digest. That is your state of healing when you can breathe and release into it. So sending you love, my dear, and please let me know how that resonates. Okay, and let's go to Vicky. Such a cute little profile picture. It just makes me happy. So cute. Hi, Vicky. First of all, I just want to pour some love on you and let you know that you are seen, and it feels like to know that you matter, that you're important, that you are not hidden, or it's kind of interesting, even pushed aside, which I think that like I just kind of did that other reading first, but that was no way to dismiss you or make you feel like you're not seen or important. So I want to let you know that piece. And then let's look at the general read for you. Let's see what's going on. I'm seeing a lot of energy around your eyes, and it looks like you're in a mode of seeking, like seeking, what can I do next? Or how can I be seen? Or like looking, it feels too like you're seeking for some kind of evidence of something. Like, can you please, like maybe there's some prayers like, can you please let me know that, like, what is my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? How do I matter? How do I matter? And it's like looking around for evidence of that, and evidence and clues onto what to do next. And do you have, what is your family situation? Are you a mother? Do you have children? Feels like there's something in your home that that requires some of your attention. Like it's like this is important, but the mind feels like it's like, oh, this just feels like the humdrum, like the mundane. And so your eyes are kind of looking for something else that matters more, feels more important, but there's something about your home that feels super important to pay attention to and to put in focus and time and attention there. And then I also feel like there's it feels like there's something for you to do. Like you have a lot of gifts in receiving information in like the quiet parts of your life. I almost see you writing. Do you write a book or something? Like it feels like maybe you're on a computer, you're writing, almost where you can kind of go in your head, you can go into your imagination, you can receive, like you're going to receive things, you're going to hear things, and you're going to capture them. But you've got to kind of create this space. It's almost like I see like an office, but like in a little closet or something, like a smaller area that just can feel like it's your own little world, and you can capture and you can hear things. Definitely whatever it is that you're leaning into, like what you're doing, like let's say you are writing a book or something, or you have a desire to be directed more in life. Don't forget to take that time to step into that space where you can hear and you can receive that revelation for you. So that is cool. Let me know on that, my dear. Sending love. I love all of you guys. Very, very cool. Okay, Kenji, this is cool. I'm studying the book of Isaiah, which teaches our growth pattern, which is dissension before ascension. Even the Son of God went through it. Yes, yes, yes. It is absolutely the pattern, right? And there's even a point of like there's the dissension before you can rise up. Like, and if you don't have that peace, you're actually robbing yourself of the very ascension or the next level that you're seeking. And then even in the most difficult moment, like think of even the words that, like in the Garden of Gethsemane, when Christ was in the Garden of Gethsemane and he was actually asking, if this cup can pass from me. Like he's actually asking, like, this is hard. If there's any other way to go through this, like, can it happen? Like, can I have some relief here? If this cup can pass from me. But he said, nevertheless, thy will be done. And so it's that moment of surrender and transformation. It's the death to be reborn. And that's us too. For us to become new creatures, we must die. If we've got to be born again, we've got to be, to release and to let and to surrender, to choose to let all of that go, to be able to be willing to go into the hard place and to face it. Even if you want to lift it up and be like, oh, if I really would love this lifted, but nevertheless, I will still face it, and I will still surrender and transform. And it's like, I'm almost just picturing like this surrender, but it's more like laying it on the altar. It's like, here is my hard work. Here's my heart. Here's my mind, my soul, my sacrifice, the challenges that I'm facing. And I still am faithful and loving and am still continuing. And you're laying all that on the altar. And the moment that you do that can be part of the rebirth and the leveling up moment. It's one and the same. It's such, and yeah, like that is the ultimate example for us. And sometimes we forget that. We think that if we're good, if we're righteous, if we're loving, if we're seeking light, if all those things, then we're only going to experience light. And it's like, no, that is not the case. That is not the case. We just have to anchor to it and utilize the tools to level us up, to ascend, to spiral back up. Yes. Okay. I love this. Feel that you got to do the rebirth and transfer, surrender. It is key. It's your will. Yes, absolutely. The butterfly. Absolutely. In fact, if you look at the whole symbolism of the butterfly, there's so much symbolism in there. There's the pulling in, what happens inside. I mean, like that can't be comfortable. Those butterflies turn to kind of like mush, or caterpillars turn to like mush and complete surrender, and then the rebirth, and then they have to fight their wings. They have to fight the cocoon and kind of struggle with the cocoon to build up the strength in the wings to get out, to fly. I mean, there's just so many beautiful things with that. So thank you for that, Kenji. And then Kenji, let's look at this. Thoughts or mindset can help me forgive others. Well, I love the fact that I know that you, you're mentioning reading the book of Isaiah and the Son of God. So I know that I can kind of go into a little bit of the Christian thing here. So I'm going to share with you an experience I had. I call this like, I should call this, I've nicknamed it my celestial realization. It's really been helpful on multiple occasions. But many years ago, it was probably like 15 years ago, I was having this experience with someone, and they were being really awful and horrible to me. And it was someone that I loved and cared for, but they were being extremely like abusive and just being horrible to me. And there was a moment like I just wanted to run, I wanted to leave, or I wanted to fight back. Like there was all these things I just wanted to, like there was just that moment of conflict. And then I had this like image of the Savior coming in between me and this person. And as this person is being horrible and abusive to me, I've pictured the Savior saying, like he was saying, please forgive me. And I was like, please forgive me for what's going on right now. What's coming out of this person's mouth and what they're doing, what they're spewing. Please forgive me. And it was like I was sitting there going, well, of course I forgive you, but you didn't do anything wrong. Like Jesus, you didn't do anything wrong. Like you're perfect. But the kind of the image and the phrasing that I got in that moment was, yes, but I have already paid the price for what is happening now, and now I own the sin somewhat because he has paid the price for it. He's like, I've bought the sin that's happening right now. It is not theirs. Their job, if they give it to me, this is mine. And so this is like you just forgiving me because it is now belonging to me. And it was like, oh, like, wow, wow, wow. Of course, if I'm looking at the Lord, of course I'm going to just have feelings of love and forgiveness and peace. And so whatever anyone has done on this planet, guess what? It's already been paid for. My job is not to hold that against that person. My job is to forgive them. And it can be easier when I picture that has already been paid, as if I'm looking at the Savior saying, yes, I forgive you because it's now your sin, right? Because he's owned it. He's bought it. So Kenji, let me know if that helps. And I'm seeing some comments coming in. I'm so grateful that you asked that question, Kenzie, because Kenji, I should say Kenji, but I'm so grateful you've asked that because it is helping other people too. Forgiveness is, it's absolutely more for us than the other person, really. It's taking any of that stuff out and placing it on whatever that altar is for us to let it be. Just like, here, I'm giving it. It's not mine. I just want to forgive. And it can be, especially depending on the level of betrayal or the level of pain, the level of hurt, it can be a little bit trickier than others. There's something else coming in here that I'm just kind of seeing what aspects to it. Because we kind of know this, right? Forgiveness is for us. It helps us more than just the other person. So all of that is all good. And even like what I shared, like the celestial realization, that is deeply helpful to just know that it's already been paid and I can forgive that person. But sometimes there's parts of us that still have to feel heard, or there is a closure aspect that it's like, I just have to get it out in order to get some of that closure. And one of the tools that I use is to do things like write letters. I do what I call spirit to spirit conversation, where I imagine that person's energy coming up in front of me. And I actually go through all of the ugly emotions. When I picture a person and I kind of ask to have a conversation with the person, I actually start out by exuding every ounce of yucky emotion and thought I felt. If I have swear words come to my mind, I'm saying them. If it's something horrible and I just disdain and hatred and whatever, I get it out. Now you're going to say, like, what the heck? If you're positive and you know things about energy, why would you send that energy out? Well, let me tell you, you're already exuding that energy. It's like popping the pimple, though. It's like, instead of this constant vibration that you're sending out to a person, you're going to pop it. You're going to get it out. You don't do it to the person. You do it on paper. You do it like an imaginary conversation with the person. You get it all the way out. You pop it. You exude it. And then when you feel like it's empty and it can feel like there's some closure there, then that's when I step into Ho'oponopono. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but it's like I just kind of taken some of the steps or some of the phrases from that, and I'll go through it. So I pop the pimple of all the yucky emotions, and then, or write it, and then I go through, and then I'll tell them I'm sorry. I'm sorry for whatever my part in it was. I'm sorry for even holding a grudge. What is your part? We all have parts in this. If you feel those emotions, you have a part. So I'm sorry for this. And then you can say, please forgive me. You're asking for forgiveness, whatever you have. Even if it's, please forgive me for holding a grudge and having all those negative feelings that I just had in me. Please forgive me for that. Please forgive me for blah, 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 whatever. And I'll go through the forgive me. Then I go through the thank you. Thank you for this. I feel so much gratitude for you and for the things that you've helped me learn and grow from and overcome. Like, I'm thankful for all the good times, or whatever it is. Like, you go through all the gratitude. And then the fourth one is to express love. And so it just brings it a full circle. Like you're getting out the yuck, owning your part, being accountable, expressing gratitude and love. And that can help restore you back to that divine energy, that divine place that you are. If it comes back, you can do it again. If it comes back, you can do it again. If you want to destroy the letter after and burn it, great. If at the end of doing all that, then you realize that there's a conversation that you actually have to have with that person in person, like a real conversation, then you can, now that you've gotten all the yucky emotions out, then you can refine it. Or you could write a letter to the person and keep refining it and refining it and refining it so that you can have the most pure and restored love and gratitude place when you address those things without having the yuck. I feel like that's some really good info for a lot of us, many of us. So let me know on that, how that spoke to you. Yes, thank you very much, Kenji, for asking that. I'm very, very grateful. And thank you, Stephanie, for your confirmation on some of that. Like I see your comment here, giving some feedback on that. So yes, spot on. Oh, that is very difficult, especially I'm like, I could see someone that you love very much. I actually felt male, but I didn't know if that was like husband, but son would definitely be it. So, okay, sending you love on that. I'm so grateful that you asked that. Okay, let's go to the next one. Natalie, let's go to you, my dear. We did some kind of reading before too, and I think I saw something along these lines. So let's take a look deeper and see. So as you were in the store today, you know, it's Christmas lights had flickering. I don't usually notice. Is there something going on with my eyes gift-wise? I think like what came up, like I saw it before, it definitely felt like you've done a good job enhancing some of your natural gifts, and it just felt like something else was going to amplify, like you're going to get an up-leveling. So that's sweet. We love up-leveling, right? Okay, let me look to see what energies are coming in. Okay, actually, it's not just eyes. It's like what I'm seeing here is that it's like a level of awareness. Like you're going to be receptive to things that you were not normally receptive to before. That's not just limited to sight. It could be limited to sounds. It could be limited to feelings, impressions, spirits. Like it just feels like your antennas, your receptors are just increasing and they're just more sensitive. So this is a great time, you know, for any of you that are new watching, or if you're not familiar with this, this is where I talk, we talk about in the intuition gym and kind of on this recording, we talk a lot about our spiritual senses. Now our spiritual senses, I've identified 10 of them. It's different than our gifts. Our gifts move through our senses, and they're actually, and we've even got a full training. Actually, I'll do the quiz. You can go to the website, theintuitiongym.com/quiz-senses. But even if you just went to the website in freebies, there's a quiz, and then there's even a full hour-long training that goes into this and the senses. And it just feels like, Natalie, you just have these senses coming up, and these senses, the way that they speak to you, everyone has it uniquely. Everyone has access to all of them, but when you learn and you really just, here's the training, but if you really just start developing and using your strengths first, then all the rest of them open up even more. It's really fascinating. So if you're trying to develop something that isn't your strongest, then you're going to feel frustrated. You're going to feel like you're broken, that you're not intuitive, that you're not receiving. It's going to feel like so yucky. And it's like backwards. It's like things will stop working if you just keep feeling worse about yourself and things don't work right. So lean into your strengths, and then the other ones open up. And that's where Natalie's at right here. It's like she's been really she's been in our intuition gym since the beginning, since it opened up. And it's been so fun to see you develop, like to grow, just like you're just really shining bright, Natalie. And so it's fun to see now that this like next level where things are going to come in. But it truly is like learning an intuitive language. we each have it. Like, it's like we each have our own foreign language, but no one on the planet speaks it except for you. So we've got to like kind of get pieces from other people, learn about things, explore our own, and learn our own intuitive language. And so that is super fun. That's what I feel is happening today. And Nicole, yes, I did. Okay. Elena, I'm just going to say there's some serious energies coming into the planet. I don't know if you came on a little late, but I talked about it a little bit at the beginning. We're getting some really high frequencies on the planet right now, like even checking the Schumann resonance. It affected me big time, like on Monday. So that it's creating some fatigue, it creates some fog, low energy, like all of that. And I'm wondering too, since Elena is another awesome one from the Intuition Gym. She's a member, and I do know this piece about her, and I hope this is okay to mention it, but you've got some strong, she's really clairsentient. She kind of reminds me of me, how my body just speaks really loud. And I'm wondering, Elena, if your body is picking up on some of the energies that are coming in. There's kind of a, hey, get ready. There's some big things coming, energetic, like things going on. And where it's in your stomach, it's almost like, I bet you could feel it, like, what's coming? What's on the horizon? What's about to happen? Feels like you could be picking up on some of those deep messages. Yeah. It just feels like a warning, or like a, oh, it's coming. So just take some deep breaths, really focus on digesting it, imagine it going through you. You can handle it. Negative things don't mean bad. Like, we can just process it all. So let's look at this. Okay. Yes, on Monday, I'm not even kidding. I think I laid down 3 times during the day. So if you feel like you want to go to bed, I would honor whatever it is, and do whatever. I know you're pretty skilled in that way. You can do whatever you can to support yourself, but then if one of the things is to go to bed and get rest, just listen and honor. It's like building up the strength before some of the other things. So, okay, let's go to. Okay, let's go to this one, my dear. Lydia. Hi, Lydia. Let's see. Ever since I found out I'm pregnant, I've been having very stressful dreams all night. Is there a way that I can have these things cleared for me? So, yeah, pregnant dreams. Anyone who's been pregnant, can probably attest to this. Sometimes you get crazy dreams when you're pregnant. That is definitely a sign of being pregnant. But the fact that they're stressful, let me take a look see what's going on with the energy there. Then we'll see what is contributing to the vibration or the messages of the dream. Okay, it looks like you got a little baby. How old is your baby? Like, you're pregnant, but how old is the one that you already have? The reason why I'm asking is it feels like there's a little bit of a, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? Like, there just feels like there's some kind of swirling, kind of secular thoughts in the head going, well, what about this? And what about this? And how do I do this? And especially if you've got a little one, she's 14 months. Yeah. So you literally are just dealing with babies. And then to think about adding another baby on top of that baby just feels like that could be a lot. And so it's just like the subconscious mind is trying to figure all of that out. And then I'm also curious too, do you have like a hobby or a business or things that you want to do on the side? Because part of this also feels like, oh goodness, I totally understand this feeling, but a feeling like you have to shelf yourself. Like, I'm just going to be a mom, and now all of my hopes and dreams and desires and things that I want to do, I'm not able to do them now. I just have to shelf them. And that can feel a little bit of disheartening. And so if you're having some of these dreams, it could be like your subconscious kind of like trying to yell things at you in your sleep, because maybe you're not listening during the day. And so here's a couple things that I would love, that I would possibly recommend to look at here. And one of the first things is to ask how, like our heads sometimes like to just create the worst case scenarios. Like, well, how am I going to do this because blah, 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 blah. It's almost like, well, I can't do this. So the question that I love to ask myself is, what can I do? And how can I be a mother with these young babies and still be my own person, and still, like, what can I do to still enjoy myself and propel whatever it is, my hopes and dreams? It may not be, there might be a season thing where you can't do it to the full extent, but what can you do, right? How can you get some time to yourself? How can you do, if you are worried about your house being messy because you got these babies, how can you, hire someone to clean your house for you? I have this amazing, like, she's young, but she literally comes in once a month and charges me like $50 just to do some of the things that I don't want to do. Like, but I've also had experiences where I've swapped work, or maybe something you enjoy doing. Is there someone that likes to cook dinners, and can you provide the ingredients and they help just make dinners for you, and you can kind of swap. Like, there's all kinds of like creative things that you can do. And so it's looking at this word, and how can I do this? Can I do this and this? Can I be a mom and do this? Can I have my two babies and still feel like I have myself and I have energy? And honestly, Lydia, I feel like this is a beautiful opportunity. I can see it's a beautiful, like, it looks like a baby girl in your picture. It feels like this is an opportunity for you to learn how to rid yourself and to break chains of all these generational patterns of women and mothers telling you what you have to be. You get to decide. You get to create. You get to set the example for your daughter and for your future children. You get to teach them about self-care and about boundaries and about fulfilling dreams and being a mother. Like, you get to teach them and be an example on that, and break all of the old stigma and all of those little generational traditional voices that are telling you the shoulds, and you got to do this and this, and you should do this. Like, you get to break it. You get to break them off you completely. And I'm seeing, here I am, I'm kind of like, I'm going to like fast forward in time. My 19-year-old daughter, I'm going to be a grandma in a few months for the first time, and I'm so excited. So my daughter is married and pregnant, and she's going through these things, and she's watching, and she's kind of deciding how she's going to be. And she's coming to me. She's like thanking me, Mom, thank you for teaching me about some of these things with self-care. And some of the things she's witnessing around her now, she's paying attention to mothers and their styles differently. And she's watching how some of them have literally abandoned themselves to the point that they sacrifice themselves to the point of feeling sick and of not, and just being depleted and watching these other mothers where their children are growing up entitled and bossy. It's like, she can just be aware of this now. And she's thanking me, Mom, thank you for not doing everything for me. I'm like, what? But she's like, you taught me to be self-reliant. Thank you for teaching me how to do self-care. Thank you for teaching me that you can still follow your dreams. And because now, as I'm going to be a mother, I'm still going to fulfill mine. So she's in school. She's still doing college while she's pregnant. So I think that feels like a really good reminder for many of us. So I kind of went off on a little tangent there. But Lydia, sending you love on that. And hopefully those will help some of the dreams ease up when we have that. So sending love. Big transition. Big transition. And oh, Elena, you cracked me up on yours. You're like, I got things to do. I can't go to bed. I know, right? Remember, quantum creation and quantum time. You do that, and then when you do things, you'll be more productive, and you'll get more done. So, okay. And Lydia, thank you for that feedback. I love to hear how these things are resonating, and how, I know that word, I overuse that, but it's like, thank you for giving me feedback on what it is, because it just helps, and it just not necessarily validates me, but I think it also helps others to see, like, yes, good. Yeah. You got your power and you can do it. Oh my goodness. I found out I was pregnant with my daughter when my son was like 10 months old or 11 months old. So they're only, no, Yeah, they're 18 months apart. And I remember going, oh my gosh. I couldn't verbalize it for 4 months because I was so traumatized. So, yep, you got your power, my dear. You got this. And also, I just wanted to just reach out and just really just send an invitation to those who are not in our intuition gym. I know we've had some members in here that have commented, and I love it, and I've loved working with them and getting to know them. But I also just wanted to just mention and invite you to join us if you are wanting to develop your intuitive language better, know who you are even deeper, right? Knowing your identity, knowing what your gifts are and how to use them, and how to fulfill your purpose. That is the purpose of the Intuition Gym. And I encourage you to look at joining. We are in our membership group, we are embarking on a quest for truth tomorrow night. And we are going to be diving into discernment. And for the next 40 days and 6 weeks of calls, like additional calls, we have weekly coaching, we have a library, we have all library vaults, got lots of goodies in there. But we are diving into a quest for truth, for discernment. And that is like one of the key things with developing your gifts. So I'd like to just encourage you to look at it and invite. And if it speaks to you, please join us. Because we would love to have you. It's a great group of people. It's been so fun to get to know everyone. So thank you for watching today, and you guys have a beautiful day. Talk to you later.